Today I'm going to show you the process I use to make my thumbnails. So lately I've been getting a lot of comments in my videos asking me, what program, what software I use to make my thumbnails. So I decided I will put together a little video here and go through the step-by-step procedure that I use for making thumbnails for each of my videos. All right, so the program that I use is Photopea. You just go to photopea.com and it'll bring up this page. It's a free site and this is what I use for all my thumbnails. Gideon's here. I guess he's gonna watch us make a thumbnail. If you watch my channel, if you've seen my channel, you know he's been in a lot of the thumbnails and in a lot of the videos. So we're just gonna click on New Project here, and it should bring up this page, and the settings I use is 1280 by 720. It should already have that in there for you. If not, just go ahead and change it to that. All we're gonna do here is click on the tab that says Background, change it to Transparent, and hit Create. So here we go. This is what we have, our little template that we're gonna work from. So what I usually do is start with an image I put on there, and it's pretty much in all my videos. So you're gonna go up to File, Open Place, and this will open up your files on your computer, and wherever you have images or whatever saved to, you'll just bring it into there. I'm trying to do a how-to video here. All right, so this is the picture I use. It's just a screenshot that I used from one of my videos of my background here. It's changed a little bit because Baby Yoda's over there. Grogu. All right, so I'm just gonna grab the box, extend the photo out some so it fills the entire square. Hit the check mark up here. And now, you're making this difficult. Now what I'll do is I go up here to Image and just do some adjustments to this image. So I usually go down to Hue Saturation. I just up the saturation on the photo, not too much, but just a little bit there. And then I will mess with the lightness. Some of my videos, I leave that background a little brighter, and others I may turn it down almost all the way. For this one, we're gonna go just so it's a little bit in the background, right around there. Hit OK. And you can see over here on the right-hand side, your layers that you're working with are gonna pop up there, and you can move those around. So say I want text behind me, you just move the layers to where you want it. If you want the text in front of you, behind you, so you'll put it in the order over there. All right, so now what I'll do is usually put a picture of me in there, and Gideon too. So for each video, when I start recording, so say I'm doing a review on Prime Energy, I hit record on my switcher over here, I have my cameras going. Before I start actually doing the review, I'll do my thumbnails. So I have a green screen that's down here on the floor. This studio stays like this all the time, so I always have it right here behind me. It's like a film screen. It's just laying down there. And you can pick this up on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to get it. It's from Newer. It was like, I think 119. So I just pull it up, I leave it there. If Gideon's here with me, we'll just do some poses. I'll do them to my top camera, my close-up camera, and my full shot camera. Whatever the pose is, something like that. And then I just put my green screen down, that rolls out of place. And then I will, when I go to edit my videos, that section of the video, I'll just find the best pose where he's not moving, it looks good, and I'll just do a screenshot of that. And then I'll turn that photo into a PNG, and that's why I use the green screen, because it's easy to cut out the background. If I didn't use the green screen, and I tried to cut us out of all this background and the colors, it'd be really hard to get clean lines. So here it is, I've already turned a photo into a PNG by cutting out the background, so typically that green screen would be behind us, and you just fit it to however you want. If I want us over here, and you can see on my hat, when I did cut this, turned it into PNG, it took off a little bit of my hat, but that's fine. We're not worried about that too much. Okay, so I have us good there. Again, I'll go into Image, do a little adjustment, usually up the saturation. You can drag this box out of the way so you can see a little better, just a little bit. Okay. Now you can also add a stroke around you, which I do in a lot of thumbnails. So to do that, I have my screenshot over here in my order of stuff. Just double click to the right-hand side of it, and it'll bring up this box where you can do a bunch of different things. So I could add a stroke to us. So I'll just click that and then double click right next to it. And then I can change the color down here. So right now it has a black stroke, which you really can't see in that photo. But if I want to change it to white, I'll click on white, hit OK. And there you can see we have a white stroke around our image. You can adjust the size of it if you want it really big, or if you want it small, however you want it. And we'll leave it right there. And sometimes, depending on the image, like I'm not liking how it cut off part of my hat, so it's making that stroke a little wobbly up top. And stroke isn't great with his whiskers because it makes his whiskers really wide. So sometimes I won't do a stroke around us if he's in it or I have an issue like that. I'll do an outer glow. So click outer glow, double click on it, and then you can adjust the size out of it. This gives us a little bit of a glow. I think for this, that looks a little better. So I'm gonna go with that. All right, so this is a thumbnail. I'm just showing you how I did a thumbnail for the Meta Moon review from Prime. So I'm gonna show you how I made that. So next we're gonna throw the moon in there. So I have the moon here, and I'm going to make this really big. Over here on the side, we'll go a little bit bigger here. All right, so now you can see how the moon is on top of Gideon. We don't want that, so we're gonna go over here to the right-hand side, and I'm just gonna adjust the order. So I'm gonna pull the PNG below the screenshot, and there. So now he's in front of the moon, and I can drag the moon however I want, just by clicking on it and moving it around. So now he's in front of the moon. I'm gonna go make sure I have the moon selected, and I'm gonna go up to image again and adjust the image on that moon. I'm gonna up the saturation on the moon. Not too, I don't want it blue, but just under that right there. And then I'm gonna give it an outer glow. So double click on that, go to outer glow. We wanna make that moon shine. Increase the size, right there. Okay. And actually, I think, now that I did that, I can see it's a little too blue. So let's go to that hue and saturation and throw that down a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay. So now we need the prime bottle on top of there. And for every layer you're doing, you're just going up to open place, and then you're gonna select the file wherever you have it on your computer. So here is the bottle of Meta Moon, and I'm gonna turn it a little bit. Just click on the picture and you'll see your little arrows go either way. You just drag it whichever way you want, and then I don't want it quite that big. There we go. And then hit the check mark, okay. And for this, because the bottle's white and black and it kind of blends in with the moon, I wanted that to stand out a little more. So double click on that over in your layers, and I'm gonna put a stroke around it, but I'm gonna use a black stroke so it sticks out a little more. Click black. And that's just a little too much, so I'm gonna go down to about 3, I say. Yeah, that's good. Like that a little better. And I'm gonna throw in the Prime logo up top. Again, just another layer. In most of these, like the Prime bottle and stuff, just go into Google, find an image, and just like I did with mine, the image that has the least amount of stuff going on in the background, so you can easily turn it into a PNG, so you can cut out all the background. All right, put the Prime there, and obviously you can't see it. So I'm gonna go in there, add a stroke around this. And it's gonna, when you go to stroke it, it's gonna be whatever you set it to last. So obviously I gotta go down to change the color because I just did black around the bottle, so it's already set to black. Change it to white. And that looks good there. And then in the thumbnail, I put a space, because I was like, A lot of these, as I'm making them, I come up with the ideas. This thumbnail, I knew going into making this video, I was gonna have the moon, because it's called Meta Moon. I was gonna have a moon in my thumbnail. I really don't have any other ideas till I start making it, and it just kind of comes to me and I start adding stuff to the photos. I was like, okay, I thought it was done. I was like, there's the moon. Let's put a little astronaut helmet on him. So I went into Google and tried to find a good helmet, and this is what I came up with. And it was a lot of work to make that into a PNG because it was harder to cut the stuff out of it. So open place again. So now I'll drag it smaller. A little bit smaller. Okay, but now I want it in front of him. There, now I can click on it and move it around a little bit. Go up to image, make an adjustment, because I want to change the color of the helmet. So just doing that by the hue, mess with the hue and get, yeah, I like that right there. Okay, and that's basically how I make my thumbnails. Obviously, they're all a little different. Just by adding different layers and using Photopea, it's super simple. Once you get the hang of it and know what you're doing with the different layers and adding the stroke and the outer glow, it's not that difficult. There's probably a lot more with this program that you could do. You can do stuff with the text. Like if you wanted to add your own text, you have all these different things you could do over here. Hit the T there. And then your font and your size. So let's say I wanted to add a little text to this. I just click over here, and then I could type whatever I want, say hide. But as you can see how small it is, you can adjust the size here. And it'll only go up to 150, but you could click on it. Let's say I wanted to put it at 200. And hit enter. Let's say hydration. Obviously can't see it, so it's too big. You know, if I wanted to put it down here, if I want to change the font, you can do different fonts. So that's how you would do text. I don't want that in there. A lot of different things you can do with it. A lot of stuff that I don't even know. This is basically how I make all my thumbnails, pretty much do the same thing. As I learn new things, new tricks, I add things, but this is what I do right now. So this is basically what I do. This is the final product. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can add the text. There's a lot of things I probably don't even know that you can do with this program. If you know some cool things, you've used Photopea, leave it down in the comments below if there's stuff that I'm missing that I should be doing. And then, so when I'm done, I got the thumbnail done, I'm just gonna go up to File, I export as a PNG, save it. It's gonna ask you want to do $5 a month to remove ads. No, I don't. Those ads over on the right-hand side don't bother me. Boom. And then it's gonna be saved to wherever you saved it in your computer, downloads or whatever. Then when you're doing your YouTube video, click on thumbnail and bring that file in there. And that's that simple. Down in the description will be a link to that green screen if you're interested in that. So if you've enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Do you want to try that again, or are you a little embarrassed because you fell down? All right, if you've enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We'll see you in the next video.